Hello everyone, my name is Sir Ervin James Williams III. I am a certified ELA teacher between grades 5 and 12, and today I'm coming to you because I will be doing a story time with you. This story time is some of my own personal stories that I've written, short stories about African American students, particularly African American boys. And the reason I decided to start doing this storytelling series is because I understand the importance of seeing Black and brown students in books. So I started this section so it can help increase the literacy rate in our country, as well as students being able to identify who and what they are inside books. I recommend this particular story between the ages of 11 and above. Everyone from 11 to 99 can enjoy this story, and the reason I say that because it's a little more in depth. This story I wrote, and it's an essay I wrote last year, and it's entitled I Can't Read, Reason Confessions I Can't Read. The reason I wrote this story because around the age of 7 or 8 I was placed into special education because my teacher, who was a white woman at the time, assumed that I couldn't read. And it wasn't that I could not read nor comprehend, it was that I didn't want to read for her. So this is where this particular story comes from. Being a black boy raised in the city of St. Louis, growing up in a disenfranchised community, I understand now as an educator I need to have more stories that are real and authentic, and sometimes it may have language that we don't necessarily agree with. So here is part 1 of that story, and I hope you enjoy it. I Can't Read by Sir Ervin Williams. True story. When I was 5 years old, I confessed to the world I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to help people, and I had the gift of gab, so I figured this would be easy, right? I was wrong. I was dead wrong. Well, when I realized how much reading I had to do, I became apprehensive about my decision. When I turned 7 and was in the 2nd grade, I was one of the students who were pulled out of the classroom to the reading specialist, also known as the resource room. My teachers assumed I couldn't read because I didn't like reading aloud. This was in the 80s, so we weren't as well equipped to deal with the highly intelligent students who weren't being challenged in academia. Neither were we trying to find the adequate tools to support these students. When you're poor, African American, and living in disenfranchised communities, funding often jumped over your school systems. Those test score based funds went to suburban America, who ate dinner every night and had country club retreats, and children could ace standardized tests easily. Long story short, we didn't have any of those things. We were poor and we knew of our troubles. Our parents didn't go to Fortune 500 companies, jobs, we didn't have life insurance, and what is a bank account? Our teachers, faculty, and staff were extremely frustrated with our lack of resources. However, they made us love coming to school at Lowell Elementary. But when you're in a community, and when your community suffered dearly, the north side of St. Louis wasn't your fairy tale ending. Our neighborhood was filled with abandonment, dilapidated buildings, drugs, prostitutions, drug addicts. If you can name it, it was there. It was known if you were living here on north side St. Louis, it's not because you wanted to stay here, it's because you got stuck here. That's what our alderman stated on television anyway. So we swallowed our truth. We accepted our truth. We knew we were the lesser than people. Hell, our outdated school books reminded us of the situation daily. Here it is, 1989, and I have a school book from Margaret Sue James, class of 1968. Yes, you just heard that adequately. Our lives wasn't no crystal stair, and we knew it. My household came with an SBM, a single black mother, 3 obnoxious children, and a speech that bonded us for life. My mother would come in with labored hands, tired feet, unrested eyes, aching back pains, and lost dreams. She would sit us down in our kitchen, and with a matter-of-fact tone, she would state to my sisters and I, "You are all you have in this world. If I die today tomorrow happy, you are in charge of your little brother and sister. Don't let anyone split them up. You are family, and family sticks together no matter what." She would continue to pull out the bills of the month and show us how to fill out money orders one by one. Then she would place our social security cards in front of us and make us memorize them. I was good at numbers, and my mother was proud of that. But my sister Tisha was not. She had it the hardest because every time she got a number wrong, my mother would give us this "I'm so disappointed in you" look. Unfortunately, Tisha received that look often and was too familiar with the glare. My mother would go to the sink, wash her hands, and start barking orders to each of us. Happy, start cutting those potatoes. Tisha, start picking those greens. Beatty, me, start seasoning the meat. If you could have seen my mother's kitchen in 1989 moving like a well-oiled machine, you would have been amazed. I'm teaching you all of these things just in case something happens to me. You know, you will know what to do and how to do it. I can't let you go into a world not knowing nothing. Do you know how hard it is to be out here for children that don't know anything? I won't have it. You hear me? In unison, in repetition, we mumbled under our breath, yes, ma'am. Now, when you go on in there and turn the radio on, it's time for us to have a party. All of a sudden, Stevie Wonder, Aretha Franklin, and Smokey Robinson will come glaring through the living room, mounted speaker, and as soon as I can tell you, joy would enter into our kitchen. I miss those days, and I miss those times. But I remember my mother always trying to compose herself in front of us. It was as if every day she had to walk out in the world and fight for everything, then come back home and put on a brave face for her children. My mother was always nervous about her early departure and her early death. See, her mother had a stroke when she was only 12 years old, and being the oldest, she became the woman of the house. She was thrust into a world without a paddle, and she refused to do the same things to her children. As we moved through the kitchen, singing and dancing without missing a beat or a step, I would sometimes catch my mother holding back tears. No, it wasn't from the onion she was cutting, but from the hurt and the pain of not being able to provide for her children adequately. This silent pain that only she knew, and she knew this pain alone. There wasn't a great white knight coming to save her. There wasn't an inheritance to help her financial instabilities. There weren't any welfare lines that were long enough for paying enough money to help her feed her growing children. All she had was her and an isolated pain, and that isolated pain chipped away at all of us every day. See, my mother was doing the best that she could do with all that she had, and still, unfortunately, it wasn't enough. Thank you so much for listening to I Can't Read by Sir Ervin Williams. Now is the portion where we ask the questions and you all give us the answers. You can pause this clip to get yourself a pen and a piece of paper because the answer key is on the next slide. First question, where was the author born? Question number 2, what did Sir Ervin confess to the world when he was a child? Question number 3, why did Sir Ervin get placed into the resource room? Question number 4, define the word disenfranchised. Question number 5, critical response. Sir Ervin sometimes caught his mother crying in the corner while they were cooking. What did he discover about his mother? Cite evidence from the text explaining your answer. Remember race. Restate the question, answer the question, cite evidence, and explain. Thank you, and you can move on to the next clip if you have all the questions written down. Now is the portion we all been waiting on, the answers. First answer, the author Sir Ervin Williams was born on the north side of St. Louis, Missouri. Answer number 2, Sir Ervin confessed to the world that he wanted to be a lawyer. Answer number 3, Sir Ervin was placed into the resource room because he did not want to read for his teacher, Mrs. D. Question number 4, the word disenfranchised means to deprive someone the right to privilege and to vote. Critical response answer, Sir Ervin Williams caught his mother crying in the corner while cooking because in chapter 1, he states, my mother realized that she knew there wasn't any white knight to come save her and her children. All she had was herself. Ervin knew that his mother's pain affected all of them. I hope you love this, and make sure you go to the next clip because you'll be able to see where all of my social media contact information is, and you'll be able to get in contact with me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to subscribe on my YouTube channel, Sir Ervin Williams. Subscribe on my YouTube channel, Sir Ervin Williams, where you can find more amazing things about me and about teaching and everything like that. Peace.